Before we had the Scout, we braved sleeping in below freezing temperatures in our hard topper setup with no heat in order to beat the weekend traffic to the ski resorts in Colorado. We bunkered down in our 0-degree rated sleeping bags, gloves, and beanies, and woke up to chilly mornings and frozen windows. Some people thought we were crazy, sleeping in the bed of our truck in those temperatures. There are so many positives to winter camping. Sure, it can be frigid cold, roads can be dangerous, and outdoor bathroom breaks can be a bit extra challenging. But with fewer people out camping in the winter, there's more space to spread out. You have your pick of camping spots. You can experience new places while avoiding the crowds of summer months. Like us, you can camp near your favorite ski resorts to make it to the lifts early in the morning and beat the crowds. The snow we get here in Colorado can transform familiar places into wintry wonderlands. I'm not sure if there's anything quite more picturesque than a freshly snow-covered forest with snow-topped mountains in the background. It's just so peaceful. And now that we have our Scout, winter camping just got a whole lot easier for us. We've only been out in our camper a few times in the winter so far, but we've already learned a few things that we thought could be helpful to share.
There are a couple things you need to be aware of if you do go winter camping in a Scout. First off is the Goal Zero battery. If it gets below a certain temperature, it will not charge via the solar panel. So this hasn't been an issue for us because we always make sure it is fully charged before we leave, and we've only gone on 1 or 2 night trips throughout the winter, and we have plenty of battery for those trips. But if you are going on a longer trip, that's something to be aware of, and try to figure out a way to keep that battery warm enough so that way it can charge throughout the day when the sun is up. The next thing to be aware of is the Lifesaver jerry can. It comes with a shower attachment that consists of a hose and spray nozzle. If that spray nozzle has water in it and the inside temperature of the Scout gets too cold, there is potential of it freezing and breaking. This actually happened to us after one of our trips. We didn't remove the jerry can when we got home, left it overnight, and it got too cold and ended up breaking. So one tip there is just making sure that that spray nozzle is empty, or we actually haven't replaced ours yet and just enjoy using the jerry can from the normal spigot that comes on it and not having the attachment hose. So the other option is just take that off in the wintertime and use it without that. Another thing with winter camping in the Scout is the floor gets pretty cold. So initially we thought we were going to have Granger, our dog, sleeping on the floor and she'd be fine, but we realized how cold it was getting, so now she gets the dinette bed. We drop this down whenever we go to sleep and put out a blanket for her, and she sleeps on top of that and she stays pretty comfortable. But even getting up in the middle of the night, if you are standing on the floor with bare feet, it gets pretty cold. So we have some slippers that we carry with us and use those anytime we're in the Scout. Another tip we have around winter camping in the Scout is the front wall can get pretty cold. So whoever is sleeping up against that front wall sometimes will feel a lot colder than the person sleeping on the outside. So one tip there is to carry some extra pillows and just put those against the front wall to give you a little bit more barrier from that wall, and that helps you keep you warmer at night. To light the Newport fireplace, you need to turn on the propane from the outside of the camper. Find a working lighter. Then open the door and push in the knob on the right side and turn it to low. Light it with the lighter while still holding the knob in for a few seconds. If you let go and the flame goes out, you just need to redo the steps and hold the knob in for a bit longer. Once the fire is staying lit, you can release the knob and close the door. You can adjust the fire from high to low using the knob on the right side, and then you can turn on the fan using the switch and adjust it from high to low using the knob on the left side. By far, our favorite thing about camping in our Scout in the wintertime is the Newport Fireplace. It does a great job of keeping us warm all night, even in single-digit temperatures. We've gone camping twice now where the temperature has dipped below 10 degrees, and we've been very comfortable inside. Now, as far as condensation goes, we really don't have anything to compare it to because this is our first truck bed camper or RV or anything of that sort. But as far as we can tell, it's not that bad in the Scout. The only locations that we see condensation building in the morning is the metal trim that runs around the top inside of the camper, as well as the metal trim around the door. We typically have Swedish paper towels with us that we'll use every morning and wipe down the condensation, and that keeps it from dripping down the walls and getting on the bed or anywhere else. One of the most important things to battle condensation is having ventilation. So we typically have this window cracked open and the solar vent on the back blowing out. So that way there is a little bit of breeze going through here to try to reduce condensation. Now on the really cold nights when it gets down to the single digits, we have had the condensation build up on the metal trim around the top and then actually freeze, which makes it more difficult to dry off in the morning time. So we'll end up getting up in the morning and driving a couple hours, and then we'll get back into the back of the camper and wipe it down once it's defrosted a little bit.
With all the great things about winter camping, one big drawback is how difficult it can be to get motivated to take photos or record videos in the freezing mornings. We didn't get any footage the morning of this trip, but Mike did manage to capture some photos. Obviously, this video doesn't cover everything you need to know about winter camping, but hopefully you've taken something away from it, whether it's a helpful tip or some inspiration to get out there for yourself.